Hi, my name is Fran O Hara. My company is Inspire Quality Services. We're based here in Dublin in Ireland. We provide training, coaching, mentoring, support to organizations transitioning to Agile, with a particular emphasis on Agile test. So I'm going to be giving a talk at this year's Expo QA. It isn't a keynote as some visionary keynote around a potential future. It's going to be based very much in the here and now because I'm a pragmatist at heart. So this talk is going to be based on the here and now. Interestingly, I was reading the version 1 survey on the state of Agile recently, and a lot of organizations are using Scrum. About 60% of respondents, there's about 4,000 or 5,000 respondents on the survey, are using Scrum. 60% of them, about another 10% using Scrum XP hybrids, so about 70% of organizations, so it's very, very pervasive. And an interesting figure that came out of this as well was that about 80% of those respondents described their organizations at or below a still maturing level. So there's still a lot of work to be done. So this talk is going to be very much grounded on those practical issues. I'm going to talk a little bit first about the context around Scrum and about some constraints maybe that can influence quality and test outside of Scrum, whether it's technical practices or whether it's organizational constraints and cultural constraints. But then I'm going to focus specifically on Scrum. I'm going to talk about sins and pitfalls like implementing Scrum as a push system rather than a pull system. Scrum was intended to be a pull system, just like Kanban, where a team pull in scope into the sprints based on their capacity to deliver on that scope in that sprint. And making the push system can have a lot of consequences in relation to quality, in relation to test and squeezing test and so on. So I'm going to be talking about that. I'm going to be talking about things like the artifacts, like the definition of done, which is very much related to that as well, and some of the consequences associated with problems there from a test perspective. And again, some of the people issues, cultural issues around self-organizing teams, some of the event issues like backlog refinement sessions and how they can have implications in relation to test as well. So hopefully you'll join me on the day. We can share some lessons and sins around the implementation of Scrum, and maybe we can all move from there and improve. Thank you.